This is the 2026 VSiN MLB Futures Draft, right here on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Welcome to the 2026 VSiN Major League Baseball Futures Draft, live on the Sports Betting Network. We also welcome in those streaming along on the VSiN YouTube channel. We'll be live for the next hour here on VSiN proper, and you can catch the remainder of the draft over on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed at VSiN Live. That's the channel on YouTube. That's where we'll finish up the draft starting at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm Nick Whalen from RotoWire. You can catch me on Prop Points here on the network as well. I have the honor of moderating, not participating in, just moderating this Major League Baseball Futures Draft. We get a stacked panel, 10 drafters here from VSiN and around the industry. Over the next 90 minutes or so, each drafter will be locking in 11 selections each. So if my math is correct, that means we'll have 110 MLB futures bets on the board for you by the end of this thing. Before we start the clock on the number one pick, let's quickly get you up to speed on the rules, each of the categories our drafters will be choosing from. So again, each participant must pick one bet from 11 different categories in any order they choose. Once you make a bet from a specific category, you're locked out of that category for the rest of the draft. We'll be instituting a 1-minute time limit for each pick. Be using odds from the DraftKings Sportsbook and no alternates, just the default odds as of earlier this morning, Tuesday, March 3rd at the DraftKings Sportsbook. No duplicate picks. Once a selection is made, that is off the board. Each bet will be worth a theoretical $100. And we are looking for ROI here, not betting records. So the participant who finishes with the highest profit ends up winning the 2026 MLB Futures Draft. Taking a look at the categories for you here, we will have one division winner for each participant, a pennant winner in either league, a World Series winner, a win total over, a win total under, an AL MVP, an NL MVP, an AL Cy Young, an NL Cy Young, a Rookie of the Year, and a Manager of the Year in either league. So there we go, setting the stage for you for the 2026 VSiN MLB Futures Draft. It's time now to meet our participants as we look around at our nice little Brady Bunch setup here. We'll go in order of the draft. We will be doing a snake draft. So our guy Jensen Lewis, picking 10th, will have the first selection in the second round. But the first overall pick belongs to Steve Phillips, former MLB GM. You can hear him, of course, weekdays on MLB Network Radio. Second pick, Adam Burke, managing editor over at VSiN.com, the man behind the excellent 2026 VSiN MLB betting guide, which is out now. You can find that at VSiN.com/guide. We have Lance Lynn picking third, 13-year MLB veteran, two-time All-Star. You can watch him. You can hear him on Foul Territory, Cardinals podcast on YouTube. We have the great Gill Alexander picking fourth from a numbers game here on VSiN. Howard Bender from Fantasy Alarm and SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, holding the fifth overall pick. Picking sixth, Matt Brown from VSiN's Ready, Set, Bet. You can catch him weekends, noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. Seventh pick belongs to Matt Youmans from VSiN Primetime. Picking eighth, my guy, Jeff Erickson, my partner on Prop Points from RotoWire.com. Picking ninth, we got Mark Borchard from Basewinner. And rounding it out, the 10th overall pick, Jensen Lewis, former MLB pitcher. And of course, VSiN by the books, weekday mornings, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern here on the network. Fellas, I think we're ready. Steve, you are the holder of the number one pick. Where are we going?
Well, I tell you what, I was thinking about this and trying to figure out strategy-wise. And so I thought to myself, with the first overall pick, I want to get a return. Like, I want to get a win out of it. And so I thought of those things that seem most likely. The one with the biggest return for me was National League Cy Young Award winner. So I'm going to go with Paul Skeens for the NL Cy Young Award as my first pick overall.
All right, there we have it. Paul Skeens off the board, going right to the NL Cy Young Award market is our guy, Steve Phillips. Paul Skeens, your favorite at plus 225. All right, so we are off and running here. Paul Skeens off the board as your NL Cy Young winner. Adam Burke, pick number 2. You're on the clock.
So I'm going to go National League MVP here on this one. I'm going to go Juan Soto to be the National League MVP here. Plus 750 is the price on that one. Soto, almost a 40-40 season last year, 43 homers, 38 steals. Obviously, the elite walk rate as usual. I'm down on the Phillies this year, down on the Braves this year. So I think the Mets win the NL East, and I think Juan Soto, obviously a big part of that. Also, the move to left field should help his overall WAR number, should help his defensive metrics. So give me Juan Soto, National League MVP.
All right, there we have it. Paul Skeens, Cy Young, Juan Soto, NL MVP off the board. Lance Lynn, third overall pick. Where are we going?
I'm going to go with the captain of USA and the captain of the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge, as my AL MVP. I think that what he's been doing, what he's been putting together, he's figured out how to stay healthy, and he's doing his thing in New York and carrying a team along. So Aaron Judge is the AL MVP.
Okay, there we have it. Back-to-back MVP picks. Juan Soto at plus 750, Aaron Judge plus 225. Mr. Alexander with the fourth overall pick. Where are you taking us?
I want to thank Lance, first of all, for winning that opening night game in 2013 for the Cardinals at plus 158 on that Sunday night opener. I want to thank you for a decade long in the making, so thanks for that win. I am going with Tarek Skubal, AL Cy Young, to get the three-peat for American League Cy Young. The only fly in the ointment here, somehow if the Tigers do not live up to what they're supposed to and he has to get dealt at some point, I'm worried about that. But otherwise, Tarek Skubal, AL side, that's my play.
All right, there we have it. The fourth overall pick in the books. That brings us to the number 5 selection, which will be made by our pal Howard Bender. Howard, where are we going?
Well, I also would like to thank Lance Lynn for taking my pick of Aaron Judge. Thanks a lot, Lance. Appreciate that. But I will also go AL MVP as well. I got to take my boy Bobby Witt Jr. plus 550. They're moving the fences in here in Kansas City. I think that the Royals are a team that are continue to be on the rise, and this is a kid who's got the potential. 40-40, absolutely. Can he go 50-50? I think he's got that possibility as well. So give me Bobby Witt Jr. for my AL MVP.
Another MVP pick off the board, joining Juan Soto, who went to Adam Burke with the second overall pick, Aaron Judge to Lance Lynn with the third pick. There goes Bobby Witt at number 5 overall. Matt Brown on the clock with the number 6 pick.
What a pleasant surprise. I did not think that Shohei Ohtani for NL MVP would be here at the 6th pick, and I will go ahead and gladly take Shohei Ohtani as the NL MVP. Only injury is going to stop him, so I'm not going to bet on injury. I'm going to bet on him going out there and just doing it again. We're talking about ROI here, so there's my first win. I'm already 1-0. Y'all are, just let y'all know, I'm 1-0, and we'll go from there. I would like to also take this time to say, anybody that is willing and able, side action. Bank of Matt is open, so anybody that wants to go, let's do this. Let's get it going. So side action is open for anybody that's willing and able.
All right, there we have it. Matt Brown running to the podium to put in his Shohei Ohtani bet, and any side action, highly encouraged in this 2026 Futures Draft. Matt Youmans, you are on the clock with the 7th overall pick.
Sounds like Matt Brown thinks he's the favorite to win this thing. I believe the favorite's probably Jensen Lewis, who is the Shohei Ohtani of handicapping, who does a lot of everything. So I would make Jensen Lewis the favorite here. But I'm going to go, based on some of the few early picks, it's going to be tough for him to hit 60 homers again. But I'm going to go Cal Raleigh, AL MVP, the big dumper, plus 850.
All right, yet another MVP bet on the board. That is 3 in a row now with Bobby Witt, Shohei Ohtani, and Cal Raleigh. The number 8 selection belongs to Jeff Erickson from RotoWire.com. You can watch him on Prop Points Monday through Friday as well. Jeff, if my math is correct on this, I think you could take up to 8 Cincinnati Reds bets. So is that where you're starting us off here?
I am not. I am a minnow in a room full of sharks here. So I'm just going to go with a little layup bet here. Not even a layup bet, but I'm going to go with Dodgers to win the World Series plus 230. Get the only Dodgers bet with plus money, basically. So I'll go ahead and take that one off the board.
Okay, our first World Series bet of the 2026 VSiN MLB Futures Draft. Jeff Erickson taking, I believe you described it as a layup with the LA Dodgers to win the World Series. Mark Borchard, holder of the number 9 overall pick. You are on the clock.
I'm going to go with, this American League MVP seems to be popular. I'm going to go ahead and go with Kurtz, Nick Kurtz at 15-1. He's not that far behind Judge from a base winner runs created standpoint. He's number 3 in baseball. 15-1 looks good. Nick Kurtz, AL MVP.
All right. Nice little value grab there. Take a Nick Kurtz, another MVP bet on the board. Jensen Lewis, you have the 10th overall pick. This is a snake draft, so you are on the wheel here for 2. So picks 10 and 11 belong to you.
Yeah, really good stuff. Did not expect this kind of a run on the MVP market early, but it does shift some tectonic plates for me. My first selection will be the Royals to win the American League Central at plus 225. One of the most wide open divisions in all of baseball the last handful of years, having covered it and played in it for the last, 15 to 20 years. Feel that the Tigers should be the top choice, but I do love the value of where the Royals having the better offense overall, I think, when it's all said and done. So Royals plus 225 to win the American League Central. The second selection would be pick number 11 overall, the Mariners at plus 500 to win the American League pennant. Just a handful of outs away from punching their ticket for the first time in franchise history. I think they get back there and they finally get to that fall classic for the first time. So Mariners to win the American League pennant at 5-1.
All right, there we have it. We are through round 1 and just now into round 2 here on the VSiN 2026 Major League Baseball Futures Draft. Quick recap of what we have on the board so far. Paul Skeens to win the NL Cy Young, Juan Soto, NL MVP, Aaron Judge, AL MVP, Tarek Skubal, AL Cy Young, Bobby Witt, AL MVP, Shohei Ohtani, NL MVP, Cal Raleigh, AL MVP, Dodgers to win the World Series, Nick Kurtz to be your AL MVP, and 2 plays from Jensen Lewis, the Royals to win the AL Central, and the Mariners to take the pennant in the American League. We got to head to break. We'll have more bets on the board when we come back. You're watching the MLB Futures Draft here on the Sports Betting Network.
Tuned in to the 2026 VSiN MLB Futures Draft.
If you're betting on Major League Baseball this season, don't step up to the plate unprepared. The VSiN MLB betting guide is your playbook for the entire season. Inside, you'll find in-depth previews for all 30 teams, a deep dive into whether money really buys championships, MVP and Cy Young Awards analysis, a complete stats glossary, and all the key terms you need to know. Expert betting insight from the VSiN Pro Team, plus player perspective from former MLB pitcher and VSiN host Jensen Lewis. You can download the guide right now for just $19.99. Use the promo code MLB Draft for 10% off. Again, that code MLB Draft. Or just become a VSiN Pro subscriber. Get the guide and all of our guides throughout the year included, along with daily best bets, real-time betting splits, AI-powered prop tools, 24/7 video on the VSiN Watch app. Again, use that promo code MLB Draft for 10% off any of our subscription options. Just go to VSiN.com/guide. That's VSIN.com/guide. Welcome back to our coverage of the 2026 MLB Futures Draft here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Big run of MVP futures in round 1. 6 MVP bets on the board already between the American and the National Leagues. We are 11 picks into this thing. So that means second pick of round 2. Mark Borchard, you are on the clock with Nick Kurtz, AL MVP future already in pocket.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to making this play primarily because I get to fade Gill, and that's the best thing about it. But actually, I'm going to go with Garrett Crochet, AL Cy Young, and I do a base winner ERA at strikeout percentage, walk percentage, ground ball percentage, in a real secret time frame, not so secret. And Crochet's got a 2.36 base winner ERA compared to Skubal's 2.88. So I'll take Crochet plus 425.
Smart.
All right, Garrett Crochet, AL Cy Young off the board. So that gives Mark the Nick Kurtz AL MVP and then the Crochet Cy Young. Jeff Erickson, back to you. You have the Dodgers to win the World Series. What are we adding next?
We're going to add this with the Red Sox theme here. We're going to take the Red Sox to win the pennant at plus 700. Not only do you have Crochet, I like what they did in bolstering that rotation with Sonny Gray, Ranger Suarez. Connolly early, people are sleeping on him in fantasy drafts, and they have redundancy. Injuries happen. They have depth there. They have depth in the outfield. They have to figure out second base, but I think that is a feature, not a bug. When you're building a team, they have multiple redundancies at a lot of different places. I really like how they're built to try to win the AL pennant.
Okay, There we have it. Dodgers to win the World Series, Red Sox to win the American League for Jeff Erickson. Matt Youmans on the clock for your second pick.
All right, we got some sharp handicappers here. A few of the picks I really wanted are already off the board. Let's go division winner. This team led MLB in wins last season. I don't think a lot of people recall that. The Brewers won 97. They're going for their fourth straight NL Central title. I think this division is mispriced with Cubs at plus 115. Give me Milwaukee to win the division at plus 275.
All right. I love it. That is called placating your draft host for the Milwaukee Brewers here. Plus 275. Could not agree more on the mispricing in the NL Central markets. Matt Brown, you are on the clock with Shohei Ohtani, NL MVP in your pocket.
Let's make two winners or two losers, because if Shohei gets hurt, then they're not going to win the West. So let's go ahead and take the Dodgers to win the NL West as well here. It's obviously a little bit of correlation going on here. If Shohei has an MVP season, they are very likely right there again. I'll take them to win the pennant at what's that, plus 125, something like that. I think it is short money there on Dodgers to win the NL pennant.
Okay, there we have it. So doubling down on the Dodgers to start things out for Matt Brown. Howard Bender, our pal from Fantasy Alarm, on the clock for your second selection. You have Bobby Witt for AL MVP already in hand.
I do have Bobby Witt for AL MVP, but unfortunately his reign ends in the regular season as the Yankees turn around and win the American League pennant at plus 450.
Wow.
Okay, there we have a couple AL bets for Howard Bender. Gill Alexander, back on the clock. You have Tarek Skubal to win the AL Cy Young at plus 350. Where are we going next?
I wasn't probably going to do AL MVP at this point, but there was a run, so I want to get one meaningful pick in there on that category, and that'll be Julio Rodriguez, J-Rod of the Mariners, who is 25 years old, peak age curve, just needs to start quicker than he normally does. J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez, AL MVP.
All right, yet another MVP bet hitting the board. I believe that is now 7 between the American and National Leagues. Gill Alexander getting that in at 13-1. Lance Lynn, you already have an AL MVP with Aaron Judge at plus 225. Where are you taking us next?
I'm heading to the NL Cy Young, and I'm going Yamamoto with what he did in the World Series last year, with the things that he's, each year that he develops in the major leagues and the stuff he's showing. I got him going for the NL Cy Young this year with the team that he has around him. Should be a lot of wins. So that's my pick. Wins and strikeouts. Here we go.
There we have it. Lance Lynn adding Yoshi Yamamoto. That is 5-1 to win the National League Cy Young. We go over now to VSiN managing editor Adam Burke. He has Juan Soto NL MVP at plus 750 on his card so far. What do you got next for us, Adam?
Well, I got a guy next to me who stole my AL MVP pick here in Julio Rodriguez. On pace for 45 home runs based on his second half last year. So we'll see if that power uptick is legit for J-Rod. If it is, then Gil may be sitting pretty with that one. I'm going to go National League Cy Young here. I'm going to take Christopher Sanchez at 10-1. Just an innings workhorse, over a strikeout per inning, very, very high ground ball rate. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Phillies and taking Juan Soto to win MVP, but this is not only a little bit of a safety net for that, but also I think Sanchez is just a guy who can sustain what we saw last season. So Christopher Sanchez, 10-1, NL Cy Young.
All right, there we have it. A plus 750 and a 10-1 in pocket now for Adam Burke. Steve Phillips, you are the holder of the number 1 overall pick. You used that on Paul Skeens to take home the National League Cy Young Award. So you are on the wheel here for 2.
Okay, I'm going to go with the AL MVP as well, because we sort of have worked our way through it. And the fact that I've waited after all these picks and have a shot at a guy who's finished in the top 3, I think 4 different times, I'm going to go with Jose Ramirez at a plus 1,500 as the AL MVP. Jose Ramirez is my pick there. And then for the AL Cy Young Award, I'm going to go with a guy that got signed as a free agent this year, and he's signed with the Blue Jays, Dylan Cease, a plus 3,500. So he's been a top 3 in Cy Young twice, and the Blue Jays had great success with Robbie Ray when they had him, and Dylan Cease is the right-handed version of Robbie Ray. Guy with great stuff, doesn't throw enough strikes, But if they get him in the strike zone a little bit more, fastballs early in the count, expand it. We know the strikeout numbers are going to be there. He's one of 2 pitchers over the last 3 years that have had over 200 strikeouts with Freddie Peralta. I'm going to go Dylan Cease plus 3,500 for the AL Cy Young Award.
All right, there we have it. A 15-1 and a 35-1. Easily our longest shot on the board so far for Steve Phillips. So he now has Paul Skeens to win the NL Cy Young, Jose Ramirez, AL MVP, and Dylan Cease for the AL Cy Young. Adam Burke, back on the clock for your third selection.
Yeah, I'm going to go AL pennant here. I'm going to take the Detroit Tigers at 9-1. Easiest path to win the division. I know the Royals are probably going to be pretty good, but the Guardians look like a team that's going to take a step back. The Twins are a disaster, and the White Sox are trying, but they're not going to be that good this season. Detroit with Framber Valdez, with Tarek Skubal, with some of the additions that they made, not to mention they're going to get stronger as the season goes along with 2 top 10 prospects coming up in their system. So give me the Tigers 9-1 for the AL pennant.
All right, there we have it. Some nice diversification so far for Adam Burke. He's got Juan Soto, NL MVP, Christopher Sanchez, NL Cy Young, Detroit Tigers to take home the AL pennant at 9-1. Lance Lynn, back to you for your third overall pick.
I am going to take the Toronto Blue Jays to win the World Series at, what was that, 15-1, I think. So I like what they did last year. I like the Cease edition. I like their pitching, their depth. So I see them making a run in the playoffs and winning the whole thing. So Toronto Blue Jays to win it all.
Okay, there we have it. Adding to Aaron Judge for AL MVP and Yoshi Yamamoto, NL Cy Young. Gill Alexander, let's get one more pick in here before we have to head to break. You have Tarek Skubal to win the AL Cy Young. You have Julio Rodriguez to win the AL MVP. That one at 13-1. What's next?
I will stay in the American League. I will do the Texas Rangers to win the pennant. Texas Rangers to win the American League. I can't resist Eovaldi, DeGrom, Leiter, and Gore as their starting rotation in a playoff situation. Just got to get in and win, and I think they're sitting pretty great if those guys remain healthy. So Rangers to win the AL.
All right, that is priced at 13-1 at the DraftKings Sportsbook. So again, that gives Gill Alexander, Skubal, Cy Young at plus 350, Julio Rodriguez 13-1 for your AL MVP. The Texas Rangers to win the American League at 13-1. We'll pause here. We got to take a break. We are rolling through round 3 of the 2026 Futures Draft here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Appreciate everybody watching along live on YouTube as well. We'll keep rolling through the third round, move into round 4 when we come back. Again, you're watching the 2026 MLB Futures Draft here on the Sports Betting Network.
Tuned in to the 2026 VSiN MLB Futures Draft.
If you're serious about betting baseball this season, it's time to bet smarter with VSiN Pro. And right now, you can get 10% off any subscription or MLB betting guide by just using the promo code MLB Draft. With VSiN Pro, you get daily best bets from VSiN hosts and their guests, real-time betting splits from both DraftKings and the Circus Sportsbooks, AI-powered prop tools, and matchup analysis, 24/7 video, full show replays over on the VSiN Watch app, plus our new Major League Baseball betting guide with detailed team previews, key analytics, sharp betting insight from VSiN Pro experts, and player perspective for former MLB pitcher and VSiN host Jensen Lewis. You can start today with that promo code MLB Draft. That'll get you 10% off any subscription option or 10% off the Major League Baseball betting guide. Head over to VSiN.com/subscribe. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Welcome back to the 2026 MLB Futures Draft here on VSiN. I'm Nick Whalen, your moderator here as we work our way through round 3. We just had the Blue Jays to win the World Series come off the board to Lance Lynn with his third selection. Gill Alexander taking the Rangers to win the AL pennant at 13-1. Howard Bender, live from Alaska, on the clock now for his third selection with Bobby Witt, AL MVP, and Yankees to win the American League in hand.
Well, I might as well just stack the bets, right? And just kind of, if the Yankees are going to win the American League pennant, of course they're going to unseat the Dodgers in the World Series. So give me the Yankees winning the World Series at 11-1. before teams who have a chance to actually beat the Dodgers come ripping off the board, I might as well grab mine.
All right, there we have it. The Yankees to win the World Series. That is our third World Series bet now. Jeff Erickson has the Dodgers and Lance Lynn with the Blue Jays at 15-1. Matt Brown, you have already self-declared that you are 2-0 on Shohei Ohtani to win the NL MVP, the Dodgers to win the NL pennant. Can we make it 3-0?
I don't think we're going to make it 3-0, but I just don't want to be completely dead in this category. So I'm going to take Vlad Jr. for AL MVP. Not that I think we've completely extinguished all the people who can realistically get it home, but it is a guy that will have to knock off maybe Aaron Judge if his team, was able to win the division or something like that. I think somewhere along the way, if we can get a little bit the power numbers back to where they were last couple of years, get close to that 100 RBI, he's going to steal you a handful of bases along the way as well. The home run to fly ball rate was a little bit down last year comparatively to his career stats. So if we get that back normalized, I think that he can have his name right back there. And again, I don't want to wait another million picks and then next thing you know, I'm having to take Byron Buxton or something like that as AL MVP. So we're gonna take Vlad Jr.
Shots fired at Byron Buxton as the AL MVP market continue to saturate here. That is now 7 bets off the board in that category. Matt Youmans, on to you for your third pick. You have Cal Raleigh to win the AL MVP, so you're safe there, and you took the Brewers to win the NL Central in round 2.
I think Brown went over the time limit there, so I'll stay under it here to squeeze us within the limit. How about I need a winner, and this is my favorite win total under, so I'm going to go with the Nationals under 65.5. You look at the talent on this team, I just don't see how this team gets over. So I got some long shots coming up, but let's go with the win total under on the Nationals.
All right, our first win total off the board. Just a reminder, each drafter needs to take a win total over and a win total under. Matt Youmans going under on 65.5 for the Washington Nationals. Jeff Erickson on the clock. You got the Dodgers to win the World Series. You got the Red Sox to win the American League. You still do not have an AL MVP. So is that where we're going here?
That's where I was going until I got sniped on Vladdy Jr. there. So I'm going to have to pivot because I think the options next on the next couple of options are pretty close together. So I'm going to pivot over to the National League. I'm going to go Logan Webb at 20-1 to win the NL Cy Young. 5th in Sierra ERA last year. A workhorse, tons of innings. I think there's not too many other good options in the National League. My first individual player prop.
I hate you.
There we have it. Some hatred being expressed from Gill Alexander. 20-1 for Logan Webb to win the National League Cy Young. We move on to Mark Borchard. His 2 picks so far: Nick Kurtz to win the AL MVP at 15-1, Garrett Crochet to win the American League Cy Young. What do you have next for us, Mark?
I'm going to go with a division winner. I like the Mets here. I think there's talk that it's a 3-way race, and I don't see it that way. I think Philly's mispriced, and I think the Mets should be at minus 119, and they're at plus 165. I'll take that.
All right. There we have it. The New York Mets off the board for Mark Borchard to win the NL East. That at plus 165. Jensen Lewis, back to you on the turn here for 2.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the Logan Webb one hurts, Jeff. Top pick in that category off my big board. So we'll pivot to, and yeah, I was kind of surprised to see he does come over from New York, guys, but we'll take a shot on Pete Alonso as the American League MVP now in Baltimore. Would have to believe that lineup really is able to bounce back in a big way, and if so, they're going to contend in the Beast of the East. So again, a lot of the top options being able to be taken there. So we'll go Pete Alonso, American League MVP. I will go to the American League Cy Young market too, and this will bring a smile to Steve Phillips' face. He might have been a year early because I think, Steve, you talked Jacob deGrom to win the AL Cy Young last year. I think it's going to happen this year, and I agree with Gill. This is a hell of a rotation. Anytime you got a couple of Andy boys, a little shout out to my Commodores, you've got a fighting chance, and hopefully Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker, and the rest of the boys can help out deGrom and Eovaldi atop there. So interesting to see what happens out west. Jacob deGrom, AL Cy Young for me.
All right. Pete Alonso, AL MVP, 22-1. Jacob deGrom, AL Cy Young, 13-1 for Jensen Lewis. Mark Borchard, back to you for your 4th selection.
I'm going to stay with the Mets. I'm going to go with them to win the pennant at plus 700. And then based on my component ratings and the simulations, I think that they're going to win it better than that. I think they're going to win it 15% of the time. So plus 700, I think is pretty good value. And I'll take the Mets to win the NL pennant.
Okay, doubling down on the New York Mets with 2 consecutive picks for Mark. Jeff Erickson, back to you. I will remind you, you still need an AL MVP.
I do, but that market is shrinking. I might as well wait till the end now. So I'll go instead to the AL Cy Young market there. I am not big on the Houston Astros this year, but one player I am big on is Hunter Brown. Another guy that I think is a bit of a horse, great strikeout percentage. I think he's completely ascendant, and he's learned how to keep the ball in the park. So at 13-1, I like Hunter Brown for AL Cy Young.
There we go. Jeff Erickson adding Hunter Brown to Logan Webb to win the National League Cy Young. That one at 20-1. Matt Youmans, back to you with Cal Raleigh to win the AL MVP, Brewers to win the NL Central, and our first win total off the board, the Nats, under 65.5.
Well, that Logan Webb pick stings. That was going to be my next play. So let's go with Ronald Acuna to win NL MVP at 12-1 odds. Bounce back for the Braves.
Okay, Ronald Acuna off the board again at 12-1 for NL MVP. Matt Brown, back to you on the heels of taking Vladdy Jr. for AL MVP at 13-1.
Let's head over to the Cy Young market on the NL side. I'm going to take Hunter Green, absolutely elite strikeout stuff. He got his walks down last year, even if he kind of drifts a little bit back towards career norms. I think that he is still going to be in contention here with sub-1 whip, high 2s ERA, stuff like that. I think that the Cincinnati team could be a little bit feisty, so I will take Green as the NL Cy Young.
Okay, our first Cincinnati Reds bet on the board for Matt Brown. Howard Bender, you have Bobby Witt AL MVP. You have the Yankees to win the pennant. You have the Yankees to win the World Series. Where are you taking us next?
You know what? I think I'm just going to go with a soft bet here, and I'm just going to play it nice and safe, and just take the Mariners as a division winner for even money. I think it's, I worry about Houston. I don't feel like the Texas Rangers are going to be pushing all that much. So give me the Mariners just to take that division for even money.
All right, there we have it. That is our fourth division winner off the board. Matt Youmans with the Brewers to win the Central, Mark Borchard with the Mets to win the NL East, and Jensen Lewis, the Royals, to take the AL Central. Gill Alexander, back to you for your fourth pick.
Couple things. Still hate Jeff Erickson for the Logan Webb pick. Still not over it. Yep. And Matt Youmans unders cash, under 3.5 rounds Hall monitor time violation from Matt Youmans. That's unders cash. Everybody's betting on that on the side. Baltimore Orioles to win the AL East. I love the top of that order. Gunnar with Alonso. I think Alonso has a huge year there RBI-wise. I actually think the front office, though, has learned their lesson. They will make moves at the trade deadline. Baltimore Orioles to win the AL East.
All right, let's get one more pick in before we have to head to break. Lance Lynn, your fourth overall selection in about 30 seconds here.
I'm going to stay in the AL East, and I'm going to double down on the Blue Jays winning the East with the Yankees having Cole and Carlos Rodon out to start the year. I think the Blue Jays get off to a good start and hold up at the end of the year.
All right, there we have it. A little bit of a run on divisional winners here as we work our way through round 4 of the VSiN Major League Baseball Futures Draft. We got to take a break. We'll finish out round 4, move our way into round 5. When we come back, you're watching coverage of the VSiN 2026 Major League Baseball Futures Draft.
You're tuned in to the 2026 VSiN MLB Futures Draft.
VSiN Pro subscribers will have exclusive access to our new MLB AI player prop projections powered by Opta AI. This MLB season, you'll get data-driven projections for both hitters and pitchers, all compared directly to DraftKings lines to help you find the best value each and every day. For hitters, we're projecting singles, doubles, home runs, hits, total bases, RBI, and the combined hits plus runs plus RBI props. For pitchers, you'll see projections for outs, strikeouts, earned runs allowed, hits allowed, and walks allowed. Not a VSiN Pro subscriber yet? Just use the promo code MLB Draft. That'll get you 10% off any subscription option. Again, that code MLB Draft. Put that in over at VSiN.com/subscribe. Welcome back to the 2026 Major League Baseball Futures Draft here on VSiN, the sports betting network. Just a reminder, our live coverage here on VSiN will take you up to the top of the hour. We'll finish up the remainder of the draft live over on the VSiN YouTube channel. So starting up at 2 p.m. Eastern, just head over to @VSiN Live on YouTube. You can catch the rest of the draft. Let's get back to the board, fellas. We are nearing the end of round 4. 3 categories still wide open. We have no win total overs. We have no rookie of the year bets, and we have no manager of the year bets. So those categories still open. Adam Burke, you are on the clock for your 4th pick.
Yeah, those categories are going to stay open because I'm not taking any of those here with this pick. I'm going to stack here based off the Tigers AL pennant play that I made in the previous round. I'm going to take the Tigers plus 110 to win the American League Central Division. They should be an odds-on favorite. Fangraphs projects them at 58.4%, basically around minus 140 implied probability. So plus 110, plus money is just too good to pass up on the Tigers, who I think are pretty clearly the best team in the AL Central. So take the Tigers plus 110, AL Central champs.
Tigers to win the AL Central in the books. That is now 4 consecutive division winner plays. Steve Phillips on the clock for your 4th and 5th picks on the wheel.
Well, I was going to go Detroit Tigers right there to win the division as well. Being from Detroit, I felt like I should actually have a chance to do that, considering that is my hometown team originally. But I guess Adam had something else in mind. I'm going to go Cubs, Chicago Cubs, to win the NL Central as a division winner. They'll win the NL Central, the Cubs at plus 115. And then I'm going to join Lance Lynn in the love of the Blue Jays, and I'm going to go Blue Jays as my pennant winner in the American League.
So a double dip for Steve Phillips on the wheel with his 4th and 5th selections. He takes the Cubs to win the NL Central, the Blue Jays to take the AL pennant. Adam Burke, we are back to you for your 5th overall pick.
All right, going to take a little bit of a long shot. By the way, Steve, I'm from Cleveland, so I'm glad that I sniped you since you're from Detroit. All right, so I'm going to take Logan Gilbert, American League Cy Young, here at 20-1. Strikeout rate over 32% last year, and actually had one of the worst years of his career from a slider standpoint in terms of pitching runs above average. So if the slider comes back, we could see even more strikeouts out of him. As long as he stays healthy, I think the Mariners should be a very good team. He can get those counting stats. He can get the wins. He'll have 200 strikeouts. Give me Logan Gilbert, American League Cy Young, 20-1.
The longest shot on the board so far for Adam Burke, adding Logan Gilbert, Cy Young to his portfolio. Lance Lynn, back on the clock. You have Aaron Judge to win the AL MVP, Yoshi Yamamoto, NL Cy Young, doubling down on the Blue Jays with the World Series at 15-1 and the AL East title at plus 250.
Yep, he took the Blue Jays from me to win the pennant, too. I could have went the trifecta there, but thanks, Mr. Phillips, for not letting me do that because I would have had too many eggs in one basket. So I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Phillies as a pennant winner in the NL.
There we have it. The Philadelphia Phillies off the board. Pennant winner category starting to fill up here. I believe it's only Matt Youmans left in that one. Gill Alexander, back on the clock with your 5th overall selection.
I feel like I need to get a little frisky on one of these. And so for NL MVP, now that both Shohei and Acuna are gone, I'm going to go further down the board. I'm going to go Jackson Merrill at 55-1. Couple years removed from almost winning National League Rookie of the Year, was hurt not most of them, but certainly part of last year. I just feel like his steamer projections are a little low, and at 55-1, I'll give that a shot. Jackson Merrill, San Diego Padres NL MVP.
We love it at 55-1. So Shohei Ohtani is off the board. Ronald Acuna is off the board. Juan Soto off the board, and now Jackson Merrill in the NL MVP market. Howard Bender, you have Bobby Witt for AL MVP. You got a couple of Yankees bets on the board. You took the Mariners to win the AL West in round 4. Where are we going in round 5?
Well, I mean, the market's drying up on the Cy Young world here, so I'll go to the NL Cy Young and grab a guy before it completely dries up. I'll take a shot on Freddie Peralta at 30-1. I like the strikeout rate. Missing decent bats, and I think that obviously the move over to Citi Field as opposed to hanging out in Miller Park will maybe help bring down that home run fly ball rate a little bit. So I'll take Freddie Peralta to win the NL Cy.
Matt Brown, back to you. Starting out with Shohei Ohtani to win the NL MVP, Dodgers to win the pennant, Vlad Guerrero for AL MVP, and you added Hunter Green, NL Cy Young in round 4.
I'm going to head to the Cy Young market and go ahead and close this out on the AL side. I definitely like Skubal and Crochet better. Maybe even DeGrom if I actually thought he could stay healthy. First time that he's made more than 15 starts since 2019, so I'm not sure that's going to be the case. So I'll take Cole Reagans. I think the only guy that can really kind of match electric stuff with those guys at the top could be Reagans, and there seems to be some Royals love here along the panel. So if they're going to win those bets, then Reagan's going to be a big part of that. So give me him at 13-1.
Back-to-back Cy Young picks for Matt Brown. Hunter Green at 14-1, Cole Reagans 13-1 in the American League. Matt Youmans, you took the Nationals under 65.5 wins in round 3. Still our only win total off the board. Ronald Acuna to win the NL MVP at 12-1 in round 4. Where are we going next?
I'm going to go Rookie of the Year. There's not much to like about the St. Louis Cardinals, but how about this kid, J.J. Weatherholt? Plus 425. He was the number 7 pick of the 2024 draft. Hits for average and power. He's got speed. I think he's going to be your Rookie of the Year, and I like the price.
The seal has been broken on the Rookie of the Year category. J.J. Weatherholt of the St. Louis Cardinals going to Matt Youmans. Jeff Erickson, your 5th pick. You are on the clock. Where are we going?
I'm going to break the seal on wins over. The Milwaukee Brewers have exceeded their wins projection total of 8 of the last 9 full seasons. They're at 84.5 this year. I'm not getting a great price. It's minus 120, but still, give me the Brewers over 84.5.
Couldn't agree more. Best pick of the draft right there from Jeff Erickson. Mark Borchard, you are on the clock with your 5th selection. Just double down with 2 Mets picks back-to-back.
I'm going to switch it up a little bit, go to the World Series winner with a AL team. And I think the Mariners are a good idea. They're, by my simulations, should be plus 900, and they're plus 1,200. So I'll take the Mariners to win the World Series at plus 1,200.
Kids got simulations.
Mark Borchard adding the Mariners to win the World Series to Nick Kurtz AL MVP, Garrett Crochet AL Cy Young, Mets to win the NL East, and Mets to win the NL pennant. Jensen Lewis on the wheel for 2.
This is going to bring a smile to my co-host Dave Ross's face, and we'll see if Uncle Steve Cohen really goes all in here before the lockout is inevitable at the end of the year. Give me the Mets at 14-1. To win the World Series. If indeed there is a giant slayer, perhaps it is finally the Mets' turn with what they have put together, not only offensively, but also on the mound. Going to take a little bit of a bigger shot here, but I know Jeff Erickson will like this as well. I'm going to go to the NL MVP market. Elly De La Cruz at 22-1. I know there was a power outage in the second half. The Great American Small Park right down the road from my childhood home in Cincinnati, Ohio. We know that the ball can fly there. If somehow, some way he gets off to a better start, the narrative should surround him. He's a potential future face of baseball. Love Elly De La Cruz, 22-1 for National League MVP.
Jensen Lewis stocking some nice long shots here. DeGrom, 13-1 for AL Cy Young. Pete Alonso, 22-1 for AL MVP. And now adding the Mets to win the World Series, Elly De La Cruz for your National League MVP. Mark Borchard, you are on the clock for what will likely be our final pick of the live coverage here on VSiN.
I think this is a good pick. Chris Sale still available. NL Cy Young, I'll take him. Plus, I think, what is he, 12-1?
Okay, Chris Sale, 12-1. NL Cy Young. That closes out the Cy Young categories for Mark Borchard. Jeff, I think we got time for one more. So you have the Brewers over 84.5 as your last pick in round 5. Where are you taking us next?
The NL MVP market is drying up. I don't even love too many other options here. Give me Kyle Tucker batting in that Dodgers lineup at 30-1.
All right, there we have it. Kyle Tucker added to the board for Jeff Erickson. That's going to bring us to the end of our live coverage of the 2026 MLB Futures Draft here on VSiN. But another reminder, just head over to the VSiN YouTube channel at VSiN Live on YouTube. You can catch the rest of the draft. We'll be picking that up in about a minute. So meet us over at VSiN Live on YouTube. We'll see you in a little bit.
This is the 2026 VSiN MLB Futures Draft, right here on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Picking up our coverage of the MLB Futures Draft here on VSiN. We thank those of you who watched along live over on VSiN proper, got through the first 5+ rounds of the 2026 Futures Draft, and now we continue through round 6 here on the VSiN Live YouTube channel. We just saw Kyle Tucker for NL MVP come off the board at 30-1 to our guy Jeff Erickson. Mark Borchard taking Chris Sale to win the National League Cy Young at 14-1. And Jensen Lewis adding Ellie De La Cruz, NL MVP at 22-1 to begin round 6. Matt Youmans back on the clock for your 6th overall pick.
I know Jensen Lewis loves the KC Royals. I like him too, but I missed out on Bobby Witt and one other play I wanted to make here. So let's go with Manager of the Year, Matt Quatraro from KC at 22-1 odds.
Dang it. That's the way I should win.
Look at this. Our first Manager of the Year off the board midway through round 6 to Matt Youmans. We love the value there, north of 20-1. Matt Brown, you added back-to-back Cy Young winners with your last 2 picks, Hunter Green at 14-1, Cole Ragans at 13-1. Where are you taking us?
Let's go to the division market. I'm one of the last ones here to get in on this. I'm going to take the Red Sox to get the AL East. It is a team, I think the division's wide open as it is anyway. I think there's a lot of upside for those young guys so long as they produce like we all think that they're going to with that pedigree. So plus 320 I think is a decent value when I'm not in love with the Yankees, and certainly think they could topple the Blue Jays.
There we have it. The Red Sox at plus 320 to win the American League East. We have nearly closed out that category. Howard Bender, back to you for your your 6th overall pick. Just added Freddie Peralta for NL Cy Young in round 5.
Yeah, and I'll close out my Cy Young categories here. I'll go with Brian Wu from the Mariners at 20-1. I like the step that he took in the 3rd year last season. Strikeout rate is strong. I mean, it's going to be tough to compete against the top arms in the AL, but I think if Wu just plateaus from where he's at, I think he's in a good spot to win it. So I'll take him.
Howard Bender taking some shots in the Cy Young market. Peralta 30-1, Wu 20-1. Gill Alexander, you added Jackson Merrill for National League MVP in round 5. That one at 55-1, the biggest long shot on the board thus far. What do we got next?
I think Youmans was smart to take his pick on NL Rookie of the Year before everybody else. I'll do it on AL Rookie of the Year. I'll take Kevin McGonigal of the Kansas City Royals. Of the Detroit Tigers. Even if he does not come up early in the season, I think it's one of these awards where as long as you're playing most of the season, you could absolutely win it. So McConaughey at 9-1, AL Rookie of the Year.
Our second Rookie of the Year off the board, J.J. Weatherholt going to Matt Youmans in round 5. Lance Lynn, your last 3 picks, you took the Blue Jays to win the World Series. You doubled down with the Blue Jays to win the AL East, and then the Phillies to win the National League at 8-1.
I'm going to get in on the Cy Young market and go with Max Fried. I feel like with the injuries to Cole and Rodon early on this year, he's going to have to carry him. If he does that, then he'll be right in the thick of the Cy Young contention at the end of the year. So Max Fried, AL Cy Young.
That one comes in at 17-1 over at the DK Sportsbook. So adding to Yoshi Yamamoto at 5-1. That was the second round selection for Lance Lynn. Adam Burke, you had a Cy Young pick in the American League in round 5. Logan Gilbert at 20-1. You got a couple Tigers bets on the board. What are we looking at here?
So I'm going to go to the Manager of the Year market for this one, and probably going to upset the guy next to me, but I don't care. It's fun. I'm going to take Skip Schumacher at 13-1 with the Texas Rangers. This is an award that a lot of times is going to go to a first, second-year manager, something like that. This is a team already in line for a good amount of positive regression. And also, maybe the voters kind of feel bad for him with the way that things went in Miami, even though in his first season with the Marlins, he won the NL Manager of the Year. So you kind of got a narrative there. You've got a team that should improve. I think a team that could overachieve and win that division. Skip Schumacher, 13-1 for Manager of the Year.
All right, our second Manager of the Year off the board, Matt Quatraro, went to Matt Youmans earlier in round 6. Steve Phillips, you are on the wheel to conclude round 6 and lead us off into round 7.
All right, I'm going to jump into the National League MVP award, figuring that it is Shohei Ohtani, but if he were to get hurt at all, then last year the guy who was second in the MVP voting was Kyle Schwarber. So I'm going to go Kyle Schwarber, National League MVP. I think he's 30-1. And look, I wouldn't be shocked if he hit 60 home runs this year after the season he put together a year ago. So I think it's this late in this draft, I'm happy to get him as he was runner-up a year ago. And my rookie of the year, I'm going to go with the guy that is the best young player I think I've ever seen, and it's Connor Griffin of the Pittsburgh Pirates at plus 280. He is an absolute stud, and I'll be shocked if he doesn't start the season in the big leagues. He's hit like 4 home runs already this spring, and so Connor Griffin is my rookie of the year.
Surprised Connor Griffin lasted this long, going to Steve Phillips to kick off round 7, our third rookie of the year play. Adam Burke, back on the clock for your 7th pick. You still need a World Series winner. We need a win total over, a win total under, an AL MVP, and a rookie of the year.
So I'll continue the stack, and I'll go Tigers to win the World Series.
I was going to block you on that.
I knew you were.
I was going to block you on that.
I know you wanted to. But look, I mean, again, I think they have the easiest path to winning their division. Facing Scooble, Valdez, and whoever winds up being the number 3 in the playoffs is going to be very tough for anybody. And also, I mean, they were starting relievers in high-leverage games the past couple of seasons. Now those guys are going to go out to the bullpen, going to strengthen that whole unit, particularly at the back end. So give me the Tigers to win the World Series here at 20-1.
Full-on Tiger stack for Adam Burke, adding to AL Pennant and AL Central as we work our way through round 7. Lance Lynn, back to you. You took Max Fried, AL Cy Young with your previous pick.
Yeah, I was going manager of the year next pick on this one, no matter what. My former teammate Skip Schumacher was taken, so I'm going to go out on a limb here, and it's all about the story. College coach turned major league manager. I'm going Tony Vitello to win the manager of the year.
Tony Vitello off the board. We already saw Skip Schumacher and Matt Cattaro in that category, so still plenty of options available when we're looking at manager of the year. Gill Alexander, you are on the clock in round 7. We need a World Series winner, a win total over, a win total under, NL Cy Young, and manager of the year still open for you.
Adam did Cole Vick Schumacher from me, Schumacher. So I'm going Mark Kotze of the Athletics, manager of the year. I expect a big improvement in Sacramento this year. Good team. Kotze, manager of the year.
Mark Kotze off the board at 13-1 for manager of the year. Howard Bender, you added back-to-back Cy Young winners with your last 2 picks. Peralta at 30-1, Brian Wu at 20-1. What do we got next?
I'll go to the rookie of the year category here. The top 3 are already off the board for what I was looking for. I'm going to go with a kid who I expect to see playing from day one and throughout. I love the plate discipline. I think it translates at the major league level, and I'm big on the Royals. So give me Carter Jensen at 6-1.
Carter Jensen, 6-1, adding to the little mini run we're seeing here on the rookie of the year market. Matt Brown, back to you in round 7. Still need a World Series pick. Both of the win total categories still open for you as well.
Yeah, I'm going to double down here then, I guess. I don't want to have to go up against the Dodgers over in the NL, so I will take World Series. I'll go Red Sox in the World Series. I've got them to the AL East. I'll take them in the World Series as well, and hopefully we can get head-to-head and steal one from the Dodgers.
That one coming in at 16-1 at the DraftKings Sportsbook, adding to the Red Sox to win the AL East at plus 320. Matt Youmans, you broke the seal on the manager of the year category with your last pick, taking Matt Cattaro at 22-1. What do you have next for us?
All right, if this pick wins, I'm going to win this draft. And Garrett Crochet was my first option here for American League Cy Young, but he's off the board. So let's go with a super long shot. How about the guy who shut out the Red Sox over 8 innings in Game 3 of the wild card round? 12 strikeouts, 14 starts, 2.96 ERA. He's a 50-1 odds. Cam Schlittler. Be careful how you pronounce that last name. Cam Schlittler of the Yankees to win AL Cy Young.
All right. There we have it. Capsule. They're 50-1 off the board. Trying to be very careful with that pronunciation. So still need an NL Cy Young from Matt Youmans. Both of those categories getting close to being closed out. Jeff Erickson, with your 7th round selection, you added Kyle Tucker for the National League MVP in round 6. Where are we going next?
Yeah, I'm channeling my inner Joe Bluth on that Kyle Tucker pick because immediately after I got punished with Quartaro and this Schumacher, my only two manager bets that I've even given out, did that last night with Dustin. So instead, I'm going to go Kazuma Okamoto, 6-1 to win the American League Rookie of the Year. Like his bat skills, like the playing time. You know, we see a lot of players come over from Japan that do well in the Rookie of the Year voting in the past. I think he's going to be battling in the middle of that Blue Jays lineup.
There we have it. Another Rookie of the Year bet on the board. Jeff Erickson still needing a division winner. Maybe we get that in round 8. Mark Borchard, back to you after taking Chris Sale for National League Cy Young at 14-1 with your last pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the manager of the year, and I'm going to stay here in Arizona. I think Arizona could make the playoffs this year, and it would surprise some people. I have them in my simulations at 40% to make the playoffs. I think they do that. Torey Lovello at 22-1. I think that's a pretty good idea there. So Torey Lovello, manager of the year at 22-1.
Mark Borchard picking up some value there at 22-1. Diamondbacks win total, by the way, coming in at 79.5 right now at the DK Sportsbook. Finish it out round 7. Jensen Lewis on the clock for 2.
One of my favorite managers I ever played for in Torey Lovello. Absolutely love the pick, Mark, and Diamondbacks could be live to surprise some people, especially in the National League. We saw Nick Kurtz hit 30-plus homers last year en route to winning the American League Rookie of the Year, and boy, what a second half it was. We're going to take a shot on a power bat in the middle of a lineup. Will the White Sox be improved enough to have Munetaka Murakami be a guy that could be there at the end of the year? We'll take a shot that the power does translate at the big league level. He may not hit for a high enough average, but we'll take a shot at 6-1 for him to be American League Rookie of the Year. One of my favorite win totals, I hammered him last year. The Dodgers under 104.5 wins. We'll do it again this year at under 102.5. They don't care about the regular season and where they finish up. They just want to be healthy at the end of September and try and be the first National League team to have a three-peat in the World Series. So I'll take the Dodgers under 102.5 wins for the under win total.
Jensen Lewis adding a Rookie of the Year and just our 3rd win total off the board. So that gives us the Dodgers under 102.5. Matt Youmans has the Nats under 65.5. Jeff Erickson holding the Brewers over 84.5. Mark Borchard, back to you in round 8.
I'm going to do Rookie of the Year. I'm going to go with Sam Basello, and he's got pretty good power, and he can play 3 different positions. And at 10-1, I think that's pretty good value. And you know what they say, chicks dig the long ball. And I think Joan Jett, who's a big Orioles fan, I think she digs the long ball too. So Sam Basello, plus 10 or plus 10-1 rather.
Cannot argue with the logic on that one. Adding another Rookie of the Year to our board. Jeff Erickson, back to you. Still need a division winner. We still need a win total under, an AL MVP, a Rookie of the Year, and a Manager of the Year.
We're going to go Manager of the Year. I think it's a fascinating category. It's the Overachiever Award. It should be named after Terry Francona. He's already won it 3 times. Let's do it in the National League for the first time. Terry Francona at 10-1, Manager of the Year.
Tito off the board at 10-1 for Jeff Erickson. We're going to take a quick break. We'll continue our coverage of the Major League Baseball Futures Draft in just a moment here on the VSiN Live YouTube channel. Okay. Correction. Let's get back to the draft.
I was going to say,
fellas.
Let's do it.
Matt Youmans, you are on the clock as we make our way through round 8.
All right. At Oklahoma State, this player was known as Cowboy Ohtani. He was a two-way star. I'm going to go National League Cy Young, the New York Mets. This kid's a rising star. Super Dave Ross loves him. Nolan McLean, 5-1, 2.06 ERA at 8 starts last season. 57 Ks in 48 innings, 30% K rate, 60% ground ball rate. And how about these odds? 35-1. That's my next pick.
I love it. Nolan McLean off the board. Back-to-back Cy Young picks for Matt Youmans, taking Cam Schlittler as a 50-1 long shot in the AL. Matt Brown, you've added back-to-back Red Sox picks with each of your last two selections. Where are we going here in round 8?
We're going to keep on.
This is the 2026 VSiN MLB Futures Draft, right here on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Welcome back to our coverage of the VSiN 2026 Major League Baseball Futures Draft. We are in the midst of round 8. Things starting to tighten up a little bit, starting to take a look at some categories getting closed out. We just saw Nolan McLean for National League Cy Young come off the board. Our guy Jeff Erickson taking Tito Francona, Manager of the Year at 10-1. Matt Brown, you are on the clock here as we work our way through round 8. You just went back-to-back Red Sox with your last two picks. Boston to win the AL East, Boston to win the World Series at 16-1. What do we got next?
I'm going to go the opposite here. Definitely not a team that's been at the top of anything, team that's at the bottom of something, and I'm going to take Don Kelly as Manager of the Year for the Pirates. This team won 71 games last year. This award typically goes to somebody that turns a team around, 12, 15 wins, something like that. And I think this Pirates team can do it. If you go in and see what they did, they actually added this lineup pretty good, and this rotation is sneaky good. I have the win total over in my account as it is anyway in real life, and if that's going to happen, then I think Kelly can play his way into this award if they're flirting with the playoffs. So I'll take him for Manager of the Year.
That brings us to Howard Bender in the middle of round 8. You added Carter Jensen for Rookie of the Year at 6-1. Brian Wu, AL Cy Young at 20-1. That's in your back pocket as well. Still need win totals on the over and the under. We need an NL MVP, and we need a Manager of the Year.
All right. Well, I'm just going to pretend like the last 3 minutes didn't happen and take Don Kelly, right? Fine. I'll go win totals under. Give me Houston Astros under 86.5 wins. They won 87 last year. I don't like the team very much this season. They're good at the top of their pitching rotation, but I just think that this is a team that's on the downward slide here. So give me under 86.5 wins for the Houston Astros.
All right. Would be the first time since 2016 that the Houston Astros have gone under that number in a full season. Gill Alexander, you have your Manager of the Year knocked out in round 7 with Mark Kotze. Where are we going in round 8?
I'm going to NL Cy Young. Not the guy I would have picked, but that's how the cookie crumbled on this draft for me. So Skeens is gone. Sanchez gone in the National League, as is Sale and Webb, which leaves me with Zach Wheeler, really. Always hovers around the top of the Cy Young vote in the National League. I don't think this year will be any different. So Zach Wheeler.
It's a value right there that deep in the draft.
I guess that's what it is.
That's a value.
Yeah.
All right, Gill Alexander knocking out his second Cy Young pick, getting to the end of the National League Cy Young options. Lance Lynn back on the clock in round 8.
I am going to go to the Rookie of the Year. I'm going to a little bit of a long shot here, and I think it's going to help my Manager of the Year win. So I'm going with Bryce Eldridge for the Giants. I think he's got real power. So, if he gets the at-bats and gets the chance, I like him for the Rookie of the Year.
There we have it. Bryce Eldridge off the board in the Rookie of the Year market. Adam Burke, you've been loading up on Detroit Tigers plays. You got him to win the pennant, to win the AL Central, and most recently to win the World Series at 20-1. Your selection in round 8.
Well, let's continue with the stacking concept here and take the Texas Rangers over 83.5 wins. For Skip Schumacher to win Manager of the Year, they're going to have to go over that total, so there's obviously some correlation here in that I like this Rangers team quite a bit. So over 83.5 wins, minus 110 for the Texas Rangers.
Adding a win total over to the board. Only one other win total over out there right now. That is Jeff Erickson holding the Brewers over 84.5. Steve Phillips finishing out round 8 and kicking off round 9 for 2.
I'm going to go with the Atlanta Braves. They got Acuna back completely healthy right now. Sale's healthy. Strider's healthy. Austin Riley's healthy. They had so many injuries last year at 76 and 86. So I'm going to go with them as my World Series winner. And they are 15-1. And then for my manager of the year, I'm going to go with Walt Weiss. And look, he's taken over a team that was 76 and 86, and they've got all the horses back now. And so that will be a turnaround season in Atlanta. And so Walt Weiss, my manager of the year, at 7-1.
Doubling up on the Atlanta Braves on the wheel for Steve Phillips. Moving into round 9, Adam Burke. You have some correlation on the board with the Tigers, with the Rangers. What do we have next?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with a win total under here. It's going to be the Philadelphia Phillies under 90.5. So I have real concerns about Zach Wheeler coming back off of thoracic outlet syndrome surgery, which we don't really have the same trajectory, the same data that we have in terms of coming back from Tommy John. So I think that's a problem. Aaron Nola was terrible last year. This is a team that's getting much, much older in the lineup. Give me the Phillies under their season win total.
Another under on the board. That adds to Howard Bender with the Astros under 86.5. Matt Youmans with the Nats under 65.5. And Jensen Lewis with the Dodgers under 102.5. Lance Lynn, back on the clock. You got 3 selections remaining. We need an NL MVP, and we still need a win total over and an under.
I'm gonna stick with the my love for the Giants right here. I'm gonna go with over 80.5 for the Giants in their win total. I think they might be a little bit better than people think.
Giants over 80.5. Put it on the board as we continue to move into some of the win total categories. Gill Alexander, 3 picks left for you as well. We still need a World Series winner, and we need the 2 win totals.
Cleveland Guardians under 79.5. This is a hate bet from having them under last year. And those bastards.
You still owe me a steak dinner.
I do. 14 games above 500 last year. They should have had a negative run differential. I don't think they're way overachievers last year. I don't think they're going to be any good this year. I like the top of the lineup, but just the very top. Just a couple bats, Kwan, Ramirez, maybe Manzardo. But the pitching staff I have tremendous doubts about. Obviously no Clase. Guardians under 79.5.
Direct shot fired at Jensen Lewis. Gill Alexander adding the Guardians under 79.5. Howard Bender, we need a win total over. We need an NL MVP and a manager of the year.
Well, I love the fact that we're doing love and hate bets now. So for the love of my producer back at SiriusXM and for the hate of Matt Brown for taking my manager pick there, I'm going to say Pittsburgh Pirates over 78.5 wins this year. I think they're at least, they're at least a 500 team this season. The only thing standing in their way is obviously Bob Nutting. So give me the Pirates over 78.5.
Pirates over is off the board. Back to you, Matt Brown, as we work our way through round 9. Still need win totals on both sides, and we need a rookie of the year.
I'm going to take under on the New York Yankees on their win total. I look at this rotation outside of Fried, and I think there's a lot of question marks here. I know everyone is just banking on the fact that Rodon and Cole are going to be back, but when and what are they going to look like? I think that the win total is a little bit too high in a very, very competitive division. So give me the under on the Yankees.
Matt and I are in a fight.
That number coming in at 90.5 on the New York Yankees. So under 90.5 for Matt Brown. Matt Youmans, back to you. We need a World Series, we need a pennant, and a win total over.
Matt Brown underestimating Bubble Boy Aaron Boone. Oh, that's scary. Okay, so has anyone taken the Orioles to win the pennant at 10-1?
Nope. Available.
I'm going to go ahead and play that out of desperation. That's all I've got left. Okay. Good young team.
All right, a confident Orioles to win the AL pennant at 10-1 for Matt Youmans. Jeff Erickson, back to you in round 9. You still need a division winner. You still need a win total under and an American League MVP.
Well, Howard took my favorite under bet with the Houston Astros. I've been fading him all along. Just don't look at that rotation. Don't look at that outfield. But I'll go with another team that I've been stridently under on. There's been a lot of love for the Giants, a lot of love for Arizona in the NL West. Someone's got to lose some games in that division. I think it's going to be the San Diego Padres at 83.5. I like the under. Their farm system is just completely strip mined of talent. I don't trust this rotation. I think they're going to give up a lot more runs they've done in the past. Plus, they're dealing with selling of the franchise as well. Could be a sell-off at the trade deadline. Padres under 83.5.
Mark Borchard back on the clock in round 9.
I'm going to go with the win total over, Diamondbacks over 79.5. Based on the simulations I run, I think they're going to go over 64% of the time, that number. So that one's good. Diamondbacks over 79.5.
Put it on the board. D-backs over 79.5 for Mark Borchard. Reaching the end of round 9, Jensen Lewis, you are on the wheel here for 2.
Yeah, the manager of the year, someone has to win outside of Stephen Vogt and Pat Murphy, we would hope this year. And I was in between A.J. Hinch and Craig Albernaz, but my old battery mate, Chris Jimenez, was one of his favorite recommendations. I tend to agree, and just having seen what he's done by Stephen Vogt's side as the bench coach in Cleveland, Craig Albernaz as manager of the year in the American League, I think he will really be able to elevate this team. Already hearing so many positive reports out of Orioles camp, and so absolutely love his attention to detail, what he does on a day in and day out basis, and the guys absolutely love him so far. So Craig Albernaz, my manager of the year pick. This was a guy at the end of last year that if he was healthy, I wonder where the Cubs would have been in their postseason run. So this will be my longest shot that I have, and I absolutely love where this kid's potential is. Give me Cade Horton, 75-1 to win the National League Cy Young. The narrative could be there. It's going to be a kid that will be a front of the rotation kind of guy for years to come. We always know that health is an issue for these kinds of young starting pitchers, and how will he bounce back last year. But I love the upside. It's an astronomical number, but if anyone can do it, I think that kid can.
75-1 on Cade Horton for NL Cy Young. That closes out the AL and NL Cy Young categories for us. Jensen now just needing a win total over. Mark, back to you in round 10. We need a win total under now that you have Arizona over 79.5 and still an NL MVP.
I'm going to go with the Pirates under 78.5. I think the market's kind of overreacted to this, and I do like their starting pitching. I have them 6th, but I've got their bullpen at 25th and the batting at 25th. And, you know, the bullpen, Jensen would tell anybody this, is very important. And I think it was really important one time when I bet on the Indians and Jensen blew a save, but I'll let that go. But
or not.
Yeah, no. I had to get a dig in on Jensen because you do. So Jensen actually has 14 saves and 5 blown saves, so that's really hard to do in Major League Baseball. But I think the Pirates, the market has really loved this team, and I don't see why.
We're going head-to-head with Howard Bender, who has the over 78.5 on the Pittsburgh Pirates. So somebody's cashing that one. Jeff Erickson, 2 plays left for you. You still have a division winner and an AL MVP open.
I'm the only one that doesn't have a division winner bet left. Doesn't have one, so I'll wait till last on that. I'm going to go Roman Anthony, 17-1 for AL MVP. The StatCast metrics are through the roof, all bright red over at Baseball Savant, including 94.5 mile an hour average exit velocity. If you can cut down on strikeouts just a little bit in the second year, he could go to the moon. I love Roman Anthony. Fun fantasy pick. Pretty decent payout there at 17-1 at MVP.
Matt Youmans back on the clock in round 10. Still need a World Series winner and a win total over.
All right, Fangraphs has the West Sacramento Las Vegas A's winning 80 games, and I like this young team. Win total 75.5, over -105. Let's go with that.
The A's over 75.5 off the board. Matt Brown in round 10. You have the Yankees under 90.5 with your last play. Still need a win total over and still need a rookie of the year.
I'll take the Orioles win total over. Another bet that I have in the account already. It is taking a hit, obviously, a couple injuries early on here that I'm not in love with, but I still like what this team can do. If some of these other younger guys with these huge pedigrees can actually play at the level that they have at AAA, I think they can get there. So I'll take the over on the Orioles.
Orioles number coming in at 85.5 over at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Howard Bender, back to you for your penultimate pick. Still need a National League MVP, and we need a Manager of the Year.
All right. Well, I think I'll go Manager of the Year. If we're down on the Phillies and we're down on the Braves, and we think that the Mets are going to win that division, and can they compete through with all the moves they made? Well, it leaves a nice open door here for Carlos Mendoza at 14-1 to get Manager of the Year.
I like the logic. There we go. 14-1 for Carlos Mendoza of the New York Mets. Back to you, Gill Alexander, after adding the Guardians under 79.5 with your last selection.
I'll double up on my Texas Rangers pennant by going Texas Rangers World Series. I believe that's available still at 30-1. Again, not a team that I want to necessarily go high on during the regular season, but if they, in terms of division or a season win total over, though I did bet the season win total over. I prefer them in a playoff situation in that format with that rotation. Rangers to win the World Series at 30-1.
All right, our biggest World Series price so far, 30-1 on the Texas Rangers. Lance Lynn, your selection in round 10. We need a win total under or an NL MVP.
I am going to go with the Brewers. I think it's under 84.5. I'm going to take them to lose a little bit more than everyone thinks they're going to this year.
Going head-to-head with Jeff Erickson on that one. So now down to just an NL MVP for Lance Lynn. Adam Burke, you have added the Rangers over 83.5, the Phillies under 89.5 with your last two picks. AL MVP and Rookie of the Year still open.
Yeah, I appreciate that clarifying point. Phillies under 89.5. I guess that one kind of moved down a little bit since I wrote up our MLB betting guide here at VSiN.com. I'm going to go Rookie of the Year. I'm going to go Owen Casey. I think the Marlins are going to be a fascinating team this season. Very, very young lineup, a lot of promise. Nobody older than 28 years old. I think they're going to run a lot. And this is also a team that had the fourth lowest strikeout rate in Major League Baseball last season. So I think that they can help Casey make a little bit more contact. Give me Owen Casey, National League Rookie of the Year, 20-1.
Like the price on that. Owen Casey, Rookie of the Year in pocket for Adam Burke. So he's down to just an American League MVP. Steve Phillips, your final two selections to round out round 10 and take us into round 11.
I have my win total over and under is what I have left on the board. So I'm going to take win total over the Kansas City Royals at 81.5. I think they're going to be a much improved team this year. I love the pitching depth they have, moving the fences in. They've improved their outfielders. The growth of Pasquantino, I think Caglianone's going to be improved. Carter Jensen, I love his addition. I think over 81.5 for the Kansas City Royals. And then my under, I'm going to take the St. Louis Cardinals under 69.5. The complete rebuild, they've torn it down, and anybody that is anybody at the deadline, they're going to trade again, which I think adds to the losing over the last couple months. So I'm going under 69.5 for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Steve Phillips finishing out with the Cardinals under 69.5. I will tell you, Steve, as a Brewers fan, you just hate to see it. You hate to see the St. Louis Cardinals falling on hard times. A win total sub 70 heading into the year. Adam Burke, round 11, your final pick has to be an AL MVP.
Yeah, I mean, there was a big run on the guys who can probably win it. So, I'll just take a shot here. It's not that big of a price, but a guy who was hurt for a good chunk of the year last year, kind of zapped his power a little bit, kind of zapped some of his contact quality metrics. Gunnar Henderson, 16-1. This is a kid, 37 homers, 21 steals in 2024. I think we see the power numbers come back up. He had almost 8 wins above replacement player 2 years ago. So hopefully he's healthy in 2026. And if he is, I think he's got a shot at this. So Gunnar Henderson, 16-1 for AL MVP.
Lance Lynn on the clock in round 11 for your final selection. You just knocked out both of your win total categories with the Giants over 80.5, the Brewers under 84.5. We need a National League MVP.
I'm going to go with old teammate Mookie Betts. Had a tough year last year, but I think Mookie's up for a rebound. He's got a good team around him. Obviously this is a long shot with two of his teammates with better odds, but I like Mookie to have a good year and see where he stands at the end of it.
45-1. Your price on Mookie Betts for the National League MVP. That finishes things out for Lance Lynn. Gill Alexander, your final selection, a win total over.
Over Chicago White Sox, 66.5.
Oh.
big underachievers last year based on both Pythag, Bill James, and sequencing. I'm not saying they're going to win the pennant, but all I have to do is win 67 over on the White Sox.
That brings us to Howard Bender, his final selection of the draft. He has knocked out his win total over his manager of the year with Carlos Mendoza at 14-1. So we still need a National League MVP, Howard.
So I was thinking about going long shot here, but I figured with Fernando Tatis Jr. still sitting on the board at 16-1, if he can, fully, pull everything back in, go 40-40 possibly this season, I'd love to see it. 30-30 definitely in the play there. If Jackson Merrill can kind of pick up the pace as well, and I think that the Padres can win some games here. So give me Tatis at 16-1.
Not a ton of love for the Padres in this draft, but Howard Bender finishing things out with Fernando Tatis for NL MVP. Matt Brown, your final selection, need a Rookie of the Year.
I'm going to go Chase DeLauder. This is a guy who cannot stay healthy, but I think if he does stay healthy, we do have a potential mid to high 20s home run guy here in this Cleveland lineup. And I think there's a path to him playing every day there as well, as long as the health is there for him. So I think 21 is a pretty good value on a guy that I feel is going to get a decent amount of looks. And so long as the power isn't zapped, I believe that he'll be in the mix.
Just 4 picks remaining in the 2026 VSiN Major League Baseball Futures Draft. We are on to Matt Youmans for his final selection. Saving the best for last. We need a World Series winner, Matt.
Yeah, I saved this category for last purposely. By the way, Nick, great job moderating the draft. Much better job than Dustin Sweetelson did when he screwed up the football draft. I did like Steve Phillips' last 2 win total picks, and Lance Lynn's Mookie Betts 45-1. I had that written down too, off the radar. That's a long shot that could be live. Did anyone take the Cubs to win the World Series?
Of course not.
No, I wouldn't
Cubs
think
are available.
so. 18-1. Put me down. That's my last pick.
Cubs World Series, 18-1. Put it on the board. That finishes things out for Matt Youmans. Jeff Erickson, you've been saving this one. A division winner for your final play.
Yeah, division winners got picked up over early, so I just decided to wait and take what was available. I'm going to go with the Reds. Plus 425 is 370 last night. Wake up this morning, it's plus 425. Maybe they didn't like that first 100 green spring training start. I'm not sure, but I like correlates well with the Tito pick as well at manager of the year. So let's go for it.
Okay. You've shown extreme restraint, Jeff, not taking too many Reds bets here, but I kind of figured there was something coming here. So the Reds to win the NL Central, finishing things out for Jeff Erickson. 2 picks remaining. Mark Borchard will make the next selection, and we need a National League MVP, Mark.
I'm going to go with the biggest long shot that I think is going to be on the sheet. And only the best Gill. That's the only reason. I know it's Willie Adames at 120-1.
Wow.
I'll take him. He's a shortstop with high power potential. And I've got him based on the simulations to have a 2% chance to win the MVP, which is better than 120-1, and so that's gonna, if he wins, and then there goes the victory is mine, guys.
It's better than 0%.
Can't argue with the numbers on that. 120-1 for Willie Adames, easily our biggest long shot on the board. That concludes the draft for Mark Borchard. Jensen Lewis. I don't know if we could call a win total over Mr. Irrelevant, but it is the final pick. A pick 110 in the 2026 VSiN MLB Futures Draft. A win total over to round things out.
Might be the most irrelevant team. I cannot believe that I'm going to get both bookends of where we are in the spectrum. Took the Dodgers under 102.5 as the top win total on the board. I will take the Rockies over 54.5. It has to be better than the historic lows that it's been. There's a bit better vibe going through there. No, I would never want to pitch there, never have, and thank God I never will have to. But I think this group, Hunter Goodman, love him as a young player in fantasy, over 54.5. The Rockies win at least 55. It might come down to the final weekend of the year, but I think they get over their win total.
Yeah, what a way to round things out. The Colorado Rockies over 54.5 going to Jensen Lewis for the final selection. Pick 110 in the
That'll be a
VSiN
fun
MLB
sweat.
Futures Draft.
That'll be a fun sweat. Yeah. Watching
Can't imagine
watching
that
them
was
lose by
still
9
up
runs like 7 times in a row. And then, that's going to be great.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank everybody for taking part in this draft. Steve Phillips, Adam Burke, Lance Lynn, Gill Alexander, Howard Bender, Matt Brown, Matt Youmans, Jeff Erickson, Mark Borchard, and, of course, Jensen Lewis. All the stars coming out for the 2026 MLB Futures Draft. We thank you for watching our coverage both live on VSiN and here on the VSiN Live YouTube channel. You'll find the archive version if you want to come back and watch it later here on YouTube. Stay tuned. If you're watching VSiN Live, Stormy and JVT coming your way on Money Moves.